Hey guys, a verse story by You Might Ask It. I'm already also for leaving my boyfriend's apartment. When I wanted to leave my boyfriend's birthday party that I arranged for because his doctor friends wanted to discuss medical stuff. Mm, For context, my female 29 boyfriend, male 34, is a doctor. Most of his friends are from work and they all seem to dislike me and act distant, maybe because I'm not a doctor too. I don't know, I don't care honestly. Because we started dating, they been acting they've been asking to hang out without me and they've been leave any event I am at. My boyfriend said they're taking their time to get used to me. Anyways, his birthday was days ago. I arranged for a party and paid for everything. I wasn't surprised since the party had held at a restaurant and he heads up so he can invite his friend, Dr. Friend. We got there and his friends started arriving. They came and greeted him and started shaking his hand and hugging him off, completely ignoring me though I was right next to him. The tension started when one of them started making remarks about the way I dressed. I sucked it up, but another friend started interjecting me about how my degree in my degree then implying I was an ignorant for my food choices. By the way, what the fuck? An hour later, another one asked me if I could leave because they wanted to take up work stuff and it's confidential. I was so shocked I laughed, asking why he thought it would be appropriate to discuss work stuff during a party, and he replied, I had an attitude, and arguing and sharing about they demanded that I had to leave, but I said absolutely not. My boyfriend Spino spoke up after it escalated and asked that I keep the peace and go home, but I refused and reminded him and let his friends know that I had arranged for this party and paid for it, so they should leave since they're just guests. He pulled me aside and begged I to go home. After they said I don't if I don't leave, they will. But I still refused. They left all of them. The party was cut short. My boyfriend was upset and started complaining at home that I ruined his birthday the minute I started arguing with his friends. I told him they were being disrespectful to me and besides he said I was wrong to accuse wrong he said that was wrong because they said they wanted to discuss medical stuff, and I should respect that. I had not made it personal. He did not speak to me now, and I was so hurt, and I could argue anymore. I feel like I ruined his birthday, making a scene, like he said, and acting passive aggressive. I'm at it also. Edit. To say the reason I refused to leave was because I figured they used medical stuff to discuss as an excuse to get mad after to leave early. Bro, I think you're not the asshole, bro. Because literally, you did nothing wrong. He's trying to say that you, like, caused it or instigated it, but you didn't. He says, he says something about it's your fault for, like, because I don't know what, like, they caused it because you were talking for back, but no. And plus, if they're talking about confidential stuff, why would they said it at a restaurant where people, like, there's waiting people walking by? Why wouldn't they say it, like, at their work instead of at their somewhere there, because that's basically breaking their stuff, bro. So no, you're not the asshole, bro. They're the one who started everything, not you. So yeah, I'm gonna click to the comments and find something. Like this comment says, it's not the asshole. It is not a normal behavior. I'm married to a doctor, and none of his friends behave like this, even when we're dating. He would have not tolerated his friend treating me like the way your boyfriend is in the wrong 100% for not allowing you to be treated the way it was. That's a deal breaker, exactly, bro. If they're not like saying the boyfriend could have literally said, "Oh, don't talk about it like that. Why don't y'all leave?" Since you even like said you had paid for everything, so technically, yeah, they were the guests. They shouldn't be kicking you out, dog. So yeah, that's really stupid. The boyfriend deal breaker, break up with them, dog. This Thomas says, "Run." It's a boyfriend. If he isn't going to sign up for you now, what is up will he not sign up for you in the future? His friends are the asshole. Yeah, but exactly. The boyfriend and him. Because if the dude doesn't sign up for you, then in the future, he still ain't gonna stand up for you now. Okay, guys, our second buy is by Parents Lied. It's Parents Lied 7, and it's I'm on the outside for telling parents I will never speak to them again after they lied to me about their ability to pay for my college. In anyone case wedding, HYPSM, Harvard, Yale, Princeton, Stanford, MIT, and FANG is Facebook, Amazon, Apple, Netflix, and Google. Although, okay, although high school, all throughout high school, my parents promised me 23 male to study hard and good grades and involve myself in an extracurricular. They constantly said that on along the line, look at a person A's sister. She attempted Harvard Law and followed person B example. He's doing it. MAB at Stanford. I did as I was told, and I accepted into the Harvard, Princeton, whatever. I individually remembered crying out in cheer and happiness when I logged into the portal and saw my acceptance letter. I thought that my parents would be excited as well. I was excited as I would, but I imagine it shook me when they said, "We think you should attend a state school instead because it's a lot cheaper and you would get good. It would be good for your major, computer science." As HYPSM, we earn X per month and mortgage is Y per month. So we should just support the family on Z per month. For the money you would be attempting YPM, they had logged into the bank account and invited me to do the budget calculating for myself. I did. I did them. I saw their numbers added up and declined the YPS the Harvard offer as much as it paid me. I ended up going to the state school for my BS and MS in school science. I currently work at FANG, which is which means that I will be able to pay off my student loans relatively quickly. My parents said that they'd pay the difference after I looked to the max in federal loans per school. My sister, 17 female, called in December to tell me that she was accepted to Harvard YPSM. I congratulated her on getting in and asked her if our parents would force her to decline the offer as well due to the cost. She told me that Dad told her not to worry about the cost, and then put two and two together, made an excuse to leave, and hung up the phone. I couldn't believe that I had to put two and two together before that moment. My dad had worked at the out the difference FAing until 2016. Then companies give their employees a lot of stock per year, which meant that I was getting my college acceptance letter spring 2016. My dad's share were worth hundreds of thousands, possibly even millions of dollars. My dad was able to pay for my sister's college by selling off some of his shares. Next time my parents FaceTime, I asked them why were they unwilling to sell some of my dad's shares when I was accepted into HYPSM. They visibly tensed up and muttered something about how their financial decisions were none of my business. I then told them that I then told them this was the last time I'd ever speak to them because they were liars who pulled a giant bait and switched over me. That all happened shortly before Christmas. The GF asked me why I declined all their calls lately. After I explained to her why, she told me that she can see why I'm angry, but also she told me that I shouldn't be complaining that I am a better financial position at least 95% of people are in. I mean, she is right, but your parents Jedi's did have enough, and they literally told you. Hold up. Yeah, I think they told. Yeah, they were literally saying, "Oh, if you look at this person, they're literally saying Harvard Law, and that's where you wanted to go, Harvard Law, and telling you to volunteer for people for Harvard and Stanford, two things that you did say." But no, they literally lied to you about that, and still, they could have sold the stuff so you could go, but they still said no, bro. You are not the asshole in this case, bro. So yeah, you're not the asshole the parents are. So yeah, no one like the only as this person says, situation sucks. You're better off than most for this is your girlfriend is correct. But what I'm hearing is that this isn't about college choice or financial choice, but rather it's clear favoritism towards your sister. Your choice on whether to move on or forgive them, on or forgive. But in my years, being not favorite sibling, it took me a long time to realize that I don't forgive them for them. I do that for me. Bitterness sucks. I am a low contact and I suggest you do the same. That being said, yeah, you're not the asshole, but your own mental health and spiritual health, don't let it eat at you. Forgive and move on. That doesn't mean you need to keep on them and a centerpiece in your life. Exactly, bro. Make sure you feel happy and shit, bro, before you contact them. Because else they're gonna gaslight you, bro. And it's obvious your sister's a favorite because they're willing to sell the shit for her, but not for you. So, yeah. Like they said, okay, our final story is by Vivid Teen. Even, I don't know. And it's, I'm at the asshole for, I'm at the asshole for asking my wife to stop mispronouncing her son's name. My wife and I are Mexican American. I am a third generation, and she came here when she was 8. As a result, she's a bit more Hispanic than me, and we've clashed multiple times because I appreciate insufficiently enthusiastic about my heritage. After we got married, we agreed that we had 2 kids and take turns naming them. She went first and gave our daughter name a very traditional name, Rosa Maria. Last year, our son was born. I named it Daniel. Ever since he was born, she kept calling him by his Spanish pronunciation of his name, and an emphasis on the n, kind of like Daniel, Daniel, Daniel. And then instead of calling him Daniel, like I also, she's calling him Daniel, or instead of Daniel, like I'd imagine. She also calls him Danny, while I call him Danny. I, I'm sorry, but I don't know I don't know the Spanish pronunciation. Personally, I don't think you're the asshole, and she's like not it. She might be a little bit, but like not so much. Cause like yeah, like how y'all did say y'all both have a chance to name the kids, and like I think it'll be okay for her to say, oh, like call him Daniel, or that I don't know how to say it in Spanish. Like I'm like part that, but I know I don't really know Spanish, so I think it's Danielle, Daniel instead of Daniel. So yeah, I think yeah, it's okay to say that normally, but not when you're introducing them to someone. Cause what's it called? Cause I'm gonna give an example. Like my mom name is Eva, but we don't call her like Eva or something like or like she wouldn't be. My grandma named my mom Eva basically, not very Mexican. Or like yeah, but she wouldn't call her Eva or like something like that. When she introducing them, you call them by the name they were given, and like you could like oh his name is Daniel, but you could call him Daniel or Daniel. I don't know how to say it in Spanish. So yeah, no one's the asshole here. Like this comment says, when I confronted her, she said that she wanted her kids to have Ang- angelic guys' names because they're Mexican. So you're gonna ignore the part. You know the part where it's clearly she's deliberately violating the spiritual their name agreement. That's the asshole opinion in my book. Yeah, like I said, she's kind of an asshole. She's literally breaking the agreement. It's like how you said, you're not calling her daughter name is Rosie. Yeah, her name was Rosie. I'm guessing, because I think that's more Mexican than Rose. Yeah, I don't know. Just saying to me personally, I think that's more Mexican Rose. Yeah, it's not like you're calling her Rose or some Rosemont like you said. So it make perfect sense for you to call the son to call the son by the name you give him, Daniel. Not I don't know the Spanish word how to pronounce Daniel in Spanish. So yeah, but this comment also has good news. Like, how's it following their agreement? He named him, and she's pronouncing the way she would also name him. She, he said that he's never considered pronunciation when naming their kids. Their kids, they're his kids and they're her kids too. They can pronounce their kid's name how they like. Yeah, but I wonder how would like she feel. I'm saying, but like how would she feel if you pronounce her name Rosie, as Rose? Like, would she like? She would probably